राम 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 सर्वेभ्यः हृत्पूर्वक नमस्काराः। प्रवेशकक्ष्यायां सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। गतसप्ताहे वयं सम्बोधनप्रथमा विभक्ति विषये पठितवन्तः। अद्यतनपाठः द्वितीया विभक्तिः। किञ्चिदिव पुनरावर्तनं कृत्वा तदनन्तरं द्वितीया विभक्ति विषये पठिष्यामः। आदौ गुरुवन्दनम् उक्त्वा मङ्गलश्लोकद्वयं च उक्त्वा पाठस्य प्रारम्भं कुर्मः। सर्वे कृपया उच्चैः गुरुवन्दनं वदन्तु, मङ्गलश्लोकद्वयमपि वदन्तु। A warm welcome to all of you to class 56 of Pravesha. So as you know, we have all commenced learning about the nuances of each vibhakti or cases. This is like an introductory part of chapter 5, where we are going to learn more about Dvitīyā vibhakti. So today we will introduce ourselves to the second case of Dvitīyā vibhakti. In the previous classes, we have learnt about Prathama, that is the nominative case, and Sambodhana Prathama, that is the vocative case. So today we are going to learn the second Vibhakti or Dvitīyā Vibhakti. As usual, we will have a quick recap of what we have done in the previous class and then proceed to Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Let us all begin with Guru Vandanam and the Mangala Shlokas. So request all of you to please sit up straight, take a deep breath and chant these shlokas aloud. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave Na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroho Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru Bravimi samskritam vacha Dhyayami samskritam hrida Kurve sevanchakayena Vande samskritamataram Yonaras samskrita vyomnihyalayam ramate muda samskritin chaiva samskaram vindate natra samshayah. Vibhaktihi. So last class we learned Sambodhana Prathama case, a very quick recap to address someone. Ayi balike tvam atra agaccha. Atra balike iti padam sambodhana prathamayam asti. Sambodhanartham va ahvanartham va vayam dvitiya sambodhana prathama vibhaktehe upayogam kurmaha. He devi mam pahi. Ayi girinandini tatrapi sambodhana prathama vibhaktihi eva. भो जनाः भवन्तः किमर्थं धावन्ति जनाः इति तत्र भो अयि हे रे इति पदानाम् अपि प्रयोगः भवति. So it's a variation of prathama used for addressing. Here some of the examples are here. Sorry, bho shambho mam pahi guru He Rama Mam Rakshatu, He Krishna Mam Pahi, Manasa Sancharare. We learnt all these and we also familiarized ourselves with the words in Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti. I will probably just read out a few here. He Rama, He Ramau, He Ramaha. Rama Shabdasya Sambodhana Prathama. Hari, He Hare, He Hari, He Harayah. Pati, he pate, he pati, he patayah. Guru, he guro, he guru, he guravaha. So similarly, we have other words also. He pitaha, he pitarau, he pitaraha. He rame, he ramaha for Rama shabda. Mati, he mate, he mati, he matayah. Nadi, ikaranta strilinga. हे नदि, हे नद्यौ, हे नद्यः। एवमेव सर्वैः ज्ञातम् इति मन्ये। श्री, हे श्रीः, हे श्रियौ, हे श्रियः। धेनु उकारांत स्त्रीलिंग शब्द, हे धेनो, हे धेनु, हे धेनवः। मातृ स्त्रीलिंग, हे मातः, हे मातरौ, हे मातरः। फल अकारांत नपुंसकलिंग, हे फल, हे फले, हे फलानि। वारि नपुंसकलिंग, it means water, हे वारे, हे वारि, हे वारिणि, हे वारिणि. We learned that sometimes some shabdas in certain vibhaktis can have more than one form. Like for example, he vare, he vari, both are right. Dadhi, napumsakalinga, it means curd or yogurt. He dadhe, he dadhi, he dadhini, he dadhini. Madhu, napumsakalinga, it means honey. He madho, he madhu, he madhuni, he madhuni. Sarva, pullinga, हे सर्व, हे सर्वौ, हे सर्वे. स्त्रीलिंग सर्व, हे सर्वे, हे सर्वे, हे सर्वाः. सर्व नपुंसकलिंग, हे सर्व, हे सर्वे, हे सर्वाणि. We also learned this beautiful verse from Mukundamala, and the exercise was for all of you to identify the words in Sambodhana Prathama Vibhaktihi. He Gopalaka, हे कृपा जलनिधे, हे सिंधु कन्यापते, हे कंसांतक, हे गजेंद्र करुणापारीण, हे माधव, हे रामानुज, हे जगत्त्रय गुरो, हे पुंडरीकाक्ष मां, हे गोपी जननाथ, पालय परम janami natvam vina. In this verse from Mukundamala, Kulashekara Alvar addresses Bhagavan Shri Krishna in various names. He Gopalaka, he Kripajalanidhe, he Sindhu Kanyapate, he Kamsantaka, he Gajendra Karunaparina, he Madhava, he Ramanuja, he Jagattraya Guru, he Pundarikaksha, he Gopi Jananatha. So many words, all in Sambodhana Prathama addressing Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita also we come across Sambodhana Prathama Vibhaktihi many times, where Krishna addresses Arjuna as Partha, Gudakesha, Arjuna, etc. So one of the verses in the 11th chapter, Arjuna says, Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam, he Krishna, he Yadava, he Sakheti. So there, hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Sakha. Sakha means friend. So once you are familiar with the Vibhaktis, as you read any Sanskritam shloka or any work, you must be able to identify the Vibhaktis. And Sambodhana Prathama is fairly simple that way. So please be conscious while reading and you can identify the Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti. So now let us move to Dvitīyā Vibhaktihi Adyatana Pathaha. Accusative case iti vadamaha Angla bhashayam. Dvitīyā Vibhaktehe vishaye api kinchidiva asmabhihi jnatam. We have learnt little bit. For example, we have learnt how karma padam is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti in Kartari Prayoga while learning the active passive voices. So let us learn a little bit more in detail. I can't stress this enough, where Vibhaktis are very important. The Shabda Rupas are very important. Last class we have learnt Rama Shabda. So this class I'm hoping we will have time to revise and learn two other new Shabdas, Rama and Vana probably. So the idea is to introduce you every class to certain Shabdas, and so that by next week you can memorize whatever has been taught. That way your learning will be paced instead of accumulating all Shabdas towards the end and learning all of them at a time. So I wouldn't recommend that. So please just reading out. If we learn last class we learned one Shabda. I'm hoping you have memorized Rama Shabda. So if we learn 2-3 new Shabdas every class, please start reading them aloud every day. Maybe twice, thrice or more, whenever you find time. You please read the Shabdas aloud. and memorize them. So just reading itself is a form of memorization. When you read 10 times, then close the book or your screen and try to recite, your mind would have registered some of the words. Then you can go back to whatever you are not sure about. Once you memorize, please write it down. Also, some of you are a part of the WhatsApp group, which is it's a private voluntary group by the students of this class, not run by Vyoma. In that group, I see that you all are having some practice sessions. So please, all of you in those practice sessions, memorize the shabdas and you can recite to one another and check. Please make this an exercise in those practice sessions as well. And also another way is to go on listening. Like, for example, you will have the audio recording of the class. You can just go to the place where you have the shabda and then listen to it when you're doing any other work. So this Shravanam itself is a form of learning. And also another thing I wanted to share is in the group, a WhatsApp group, I am not active. I don't check the messages, but once in a while, when I scroll through, I see that some of them are sharing some other resources like other websites and other apps. So please note that Vyoma hasn't checked any of the external resources which are being shared on the group. So we don't know or vouch for the authenticity or of those resources. So those are purely shared by students. So it is up to you. But the resources which we give you in class, these have been verified by Vyoma. So all of you, please learn the shabdas, and I can't stress this further. Every class, please learn whatever shabdas we are learning. Okay, now let us take a kriya. Dadati means gives. Atra karta Ramaha dadati. Kaha dadati iti prashnasya uttaram. Ramaha iti padam dadati. Tatra Ramaha iti prathama vibhaktau asti. The karta or the subject is in prathama vibhakti. Kaha dadati Ramaha iti kartrapadam. Ramaha kim dadati. What does Rama give? Ramaha phalam dadati. Rama gives a fruit. Tatra phalam iti padam karma padam asti. Dvitīyā vibhaktau asti. So Ramaha phalam dadati. Gives what? That is the object. Kim dadati? Karma padam. Tatra phalam dadati. So in a sentence, when we have a subject and a verb, you have to ask the question what to the verb in relation to the subject, meaning Rama gives. So you have to ask the question what in relation to the kriya which is being done. So what does Rama give? Rama gives. What does Rama give? When you ask that question, the answer you get is the karma padam. Okay, so that karma padam is in Dvitīyā vibhaktihi. This is the active voice, like you all know. Rama gives the fruit. Ramaha phalam dadati. So this is the samanya, that is the normal rule, the common rule, samanya niyamaha. So every vibhakti from now on, you will see that you have the common rule for every vibhakti. And then we have vishesha niyamaha. So some special rules are there for certain words where you will use Dvitīyā vibhakti. Those we will come to later. So the common rule is when in active voice, the karma padam is in Dvitīyā vibhakti. The karma padam is the object in a sentence, and which is the answer you get when you put a question what to the kartrapadam in relation to the kriya padam. So when you ask what to the doer or the subject in relation to the verb in the sentence, the answer you get is the object or karma padam, which is in Dvitīyā vibhakti. So I hope this is clear. Ramaha phalam dadati. So in Kannada, if you have to say, also like I said, each Indian language will have a corresponding grammatical rules regarding vibhaktis. And languages like Telugu, Kannada, they are all based on Sanskritam only. So there also the vibhaktis are, for example, Kannada, because I've studied Kannada grammar, I can say that Kannada also Ramanu, Phalavannu, koduttane. So there phalavannu, annu, that is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. So the same meaning is there in Kannada and Telugu for the Vibhaktis as in Sanskrit. So you can also see in your languages, in Hindi, Tamil, how it is. And if you have groups of, those who know that language, you can correspondingly discuss and try to understand better. And it helps to do it that way, to understand the Vibhakti rules and translations also. Okay, question asked to the Kriya Padam in relation to the Kartru Padam. In Sanskritam, what, as you know, can be kim, that is Napumsakalinga, or kam, that is Strilinga, or kam in Pullinga. More examples. Radha dadati. Radha ka dadati. Radha dadati. Radha kim dadati. Radha pushpam dadati. Atra pushpam iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti karma padam. Karomi, I do. So karomi is kri dhatu in the sense of doing. It is uttama purusha ekavachanam. You all know uttama purusha is for aham, avam, vayam. So uttama purusha ekavachanam karomi. So the subject has to be aham karomi. Right? Aham karta, aham karomi. Aham kim karomi? Aham sevam karomi. I do. What do I do? Aham, I do service, sevam. Here the question should be aham kam karomi. Of course, I didn't know what the answer is. Then we can say if we don't know what the answer is, I can say aham kim karomi. Then it could be aham karyam karomi. But here, because sevam is a strilinga, the corresponding question would be aham kam karomi, aham sevam karomi. I do service. Okay. So these general rules, like I said, the object karma padam is in Dvitīyā. Another very important rule is gatyarthaka dhatunam prayoge Dvitīyā vibhaktihi bhavati. Gatyarthaka dhatuhu, meaning, dhatuhu is the root form of a verb. And gatyarthaka, gati, the sense of moving or going. So whenever a dhatu is conveying the sense of moving or going, the destination of the movement will be in Dvitīyā Vibhaktihi. This is another very important rule of Dvitīyā Vibhaktihi. Aham shalam gacchami. Shalam tatra Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. Aham gramam gacchami. Gramam iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. Krishnaha Brindavanam gacchati. Brindavanam iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. Ramaha Ayodhyam gacchati. Ayodhyam iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. Sita Mithilapurim gacchati. Tatra Mithilapurim iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. So wherever we see the destination of the movement, that is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. So gatyarthaka dhatuhu, as we all know, dhatu is the root form of a verb. Here gam is the dhatu. So as you all know here, this gam gamane, gam is the root form. So gam is a root which gives you the sense of going. Gacchati, this is the form in latlakaraha prathama purushaha ekavachanam. So here it would be the destination would be in Dvitīyā Vibhaktihi. This is another important rule. Another rule is whenever we have adhi upasarga being used to the verbs tishthati or basati, again we use Dvitīyā Vibhaktihi. So we learned 3 rules for now. One is object or karma padam in active voice. Then in the sense of going, when a verb is used, the destination of movement is Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Then whenever we have words like adhitisthati, adhivasati, then the place is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. So let me explain this further. So adhi is called upasargaha. So upasargaha is in Sanskrit means a prefix. So in English also we have prefixes, suffixes, etc. Right? So whenever we add an upasarga to a dhatu, we will learn more about this upasargas further. Then either the meaning of the dhatu can completely change, or it can enhance the meaning, or it can give the opposite meaning. For example, gacchati, you add a upasarga to it. Agacchati comes. So by adding a prefix to gacchati, the meaning is becoming opposite, right? So hasati, smiles or laughs. Bihasati, again it smiles or laughs, but in a with some greater effect there. So sometimes the upasarga can increase the meaning also. And here in this example, adhi tishtati. Tishtati means stands. Vasati means lives. So when you use adhi with tishtati or with vasati, you get the words adhi tishtati and adhi vasati respectively. They are used in the sense of live or reside or stay. They mean the same more or less, not much of a difference in the meaning. So Ramaha Ayodhyam adhivasati, meaning Rama lives in Ayodhya. Ishvaraha Kailasam adhitishtati. Ishvara lives or resides in Kailasa. So you see how tishtati, vasati by themselves have a different meaning. Vasati, of course, is also means lives or resides. Tishtati means stands. But adhitishtati, adhivasati mean they live or reside. So the location where a particular person or thing lives or resides or stays, that particular location is in Dvitīyā Vibhaktihi. So let us see examples now of all the three rules on the screen. So Saha Vidyalayam Agachat. He went to the school. So Vidyalayam iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. Balika Patham Pathati. Atra Patham iti padam karma padam asti. Balika kim pathati athava balika kam pathati iti prashnasya uttaram Patham iti padam dadati. Patham iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. Atra asmin vakye Balika Patham Pathati iti vakye Patham iti padam karma padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. Saha Vidyalayam gacchati. Agachat. So he went to school. Vidyalayam iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. Vishnuhu Kshirabdhim adhitishtati. Vishnuhu Kshirabdhim, in the milk, ocean of milk. Adhitishtati, he resides. See, this is a special rule because generally, when there's locative case, then usually Saptami Vibhakti is used, right? To show the location. We have learned this. Samudra Tate, we learned in the first, when we started Vibhaktis. Ramaha Lakshmanam Lakshmanaya Phalam Samudra Tate Dadati. So generally, the location is in Saptami. And also, for example, Vishnuhu or Ishvaraha Kailase Vasati, we say. Their Kailase is in Saptami. But here, Kshirabdhim is in Dvitīyā. Why? Because of the rule that whenever we have Adhitishtati or Adhivasati, the location or the place associated with that particular word is in Dvitīyā. So these, like I said, there are certain rules with each Vibhakti which we should remember. And in Dvitīyā, Adhivasati, Adhitishtati, the place will be in Dvitīyā, not in locative case or Saptami, like it is usually there. So Vishnuhu Kshirabdhim Adhitishtati. Parvati Kailasam Adhivasati. So Atrapi Kailasam iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. If we just want to say Parvati Kailase Vasati, it would be Kailase, that is Saptami. But when we say Adhivasati, it will automatically become Kailasam Adhivasati. This is there in your Pravesha textbook also. So please, all of you, be very alert while using Adhitishtati and Adhivasati. The word corresponding place should be in not in Saptami but in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. So this I hope is clear to all of you. Next, we learn some special rules. Like I said, every Vibhakti has certain special rules associated with the usage of that Vibhakti. Atra pashyantu abhitaha paritaha samaya nikasha ha prati. So you have how many words here? 6 words. So we have some Panini sutras also, certain grammatical sutras which have these words which tell us that when these words are used, a particular Vibhakti should be used. We are not going to memorize the sutras at this stage, but we should just be aware. But the origin, there will be a question. Why do we have these rules? Because we have these formulae given to us by Panini, the great Sanskrit grammarian, the father of grammar, you can say, of Sanskrit. So there are sutras which, as you advance, you will learn the sutras also. They give us these rules that in these particular words, you should use this Vibhakti. So, abhitaha, sparitaha, samaya, nikasha, ha, prati. So whenever this is one group of words, all these words are called avyayani. So avyayani, avyayam, or I think we have it in one of the slides, so you can see what it is. So avyayam means indeclinable. The rule for avyayam is sadrisham trishu lingeshu sarvasu cha vibhaktishu vachaneshu cha sarveshu yannavyeti tadavyayam is the shloka. Meaning, in all vibhaktis, that is in all cases, in all vachanas, in all the like ekavachanam, dvivachanam, bahuvachanam, and in all tenses, it doesn't change, it remains the same. And in all in all the genders, sadrisham trishu lingeshu, in all genders, in all vibhaktis, and in all the vachanas, the word which does not change is an avyayam. Meaning the avyayam is the same anywhere you see in any usage, in any sentence, any shloka, avyayam will be the same. But say, for example, about Rama, Pratipadikam, the root form, it takes so many forms. Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha, He Rama, He Ramau, He Ramaha, right? But an avyayam does not have that. It is just one word. So, indeclinable. It cannot be declined. It does not have declensions like other nouns. So these are certain avyayams. We will learn the meaning of each of them. Abhitaha, paritaha, samaya, nikasha, ha, prati. So a word used in association with these indeclinables or avyayas is in Dvitīyā Vibhaktihi. The other words are ubhayataha and sarvataha. While using these words also, the corresponding noun is in Dvitīyā Vibhaktihi. So, and the next words are prithak, vina, nana. While using these also, the word is in Dvitīyā. There is a star here because we have 2 sutras here. Prithak vina nanabhihi dvitiyanyatarasyaam, prithak vina nanabhis tritiyanyatarasyaam. So, prithak vina nana can be used either with Dvitīyā or with Tritiya. There is an option, both rules are there. But here we are dealing with Dvitīyā Vibhakti, so we will learn examples pertaining to Dvitīyā. But there is a star here to show that this can be used with Tritiya also. That is also correct. We will learn that when we do Tritiya Vibhakti. Let us see some examples. Gramam paritaha vanam asti. So, paritaha means surrounding, complete. Okay, not here, there, and all. Completely when a location or a place or a thing is surrounded on all sides by something, we use the word paritaha. Gramam paritaha vanam asti. Atra gramam iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. It means surrounding the village, there is a forest. Meaning the forest is in the middle. The village is in the middle and the forest is surrounding the village everywhere around the village. So that is the meaning of paritaha, surrounding. So gramam is the word associated with the verb, with the avyayam, indeclinable paritaha. Therefore, gramam is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Griham ubhayataha vrikshaha santi. Ubhayataha means, ubhaya means two. You all know that. Ubhayataha means griham ubhayataha. On both sides of the house, there are trees, which means only on two sides there are trees. On both sides of the house, there are trees. Paritaha means surrounding. So, griham ubhayataha vrikshaha santi. On two sides or both sides of the house, there are trees. Ramaha vanam prati gacchati. Rama goes towards the forest. So, prati means towards. So, the where he is going, vanam prati gacchati. So, there the word vanam is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Ramam vina Lakshmanaha na gacchati. Without Rama, Lakshmana will not go. Without whom? So, without Rama. So, the word associated with vina or without is Rama. So, therefore, Rama, that word is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Ramam vina Lakshmanaha na gacchati. So, these are rules of each Vibhakti which we must be familiar and memorize these words also. As in Abhitaha, Paritaha, Samaya, Nikashaha, Prati, that itself you can memorize. Then you'll know all these words have to be in Dvitīyā. Then Prithak, Vina, Nana, all these three mean without only. Ubhayataha means on both sides. Sarvataha means everywhere. So these are the Samanya Niyama. That is the common rules. For Karma Padam we use Dvitīyā. Ramaha phalam kadati. Rama eats a fruit. Kumbhakaraha ghatam karoti. The potter makes a pot. Bala Geetam Gayati. The girl sings a song. Vayam Devam Namamaha. We prostrate to God. Vayam Kam Namamaha. Vayam Devam Namamaha. So all these words you see in blue are in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Yuvam Geetam Gayathaha. You both sing a song. Then how to identify a Karma Padam? We already learnt this. Kartripada Sahita Kriyapadam Uddishya Kam Kam Kim Iti Prashnaha Karaniyaha. So, along with the Kartripadam to the Kriyapadam, along with the subject to the Kriyapadam or the verb, we have to ask the question what. In English, it is just what. In Sanskrit, we have three genders, kam, kam, or kim. Yat uttaram prapyeta, tat uttaram eva karmapadam. Whatever answer we get, that answer is only karmapadam. And that karmapadam is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. We learned this. Gatyarthaka dhatunam prayoge karmani Dvitīyā bhavati. The destination of a going or moving action is considered to be in object case and Dvitīyā Vibhakti is used. Ramaha gramam gacchati. Rama goes to the village. Parasharaha Dehali nagaram gacchati. Parashara goes to Delhi. Krishnaha Dvarakapurim gacchati. Krishna goes to Dvarakapuri. Then these are the special rules. Abhitaha paritaha samaya nikashaha prati. So these are indeclinables, like I told you, avyayani. And Dvitīyā Vibhakti is used in relation to these avyayani. And also ubhayataha and sarvataha. Same Dvitīyā Vibhakti is used. Let us see the meaning of each of these words. Abhitaha means in four directions. So exactly in four directions, not surrounding. There is a difference between abhitaha and paritaha. I will show you in one of the slides a picture of abhitaha that will make the difference clear to you. Abhitaha means in four directions. Like for example, if I am sitting here, in front, behind, on my right and left, exactly in these four directions. When there is something, we say abhitaha. So shalam abhitaha vrikshaha santi means exactly in front, behind and on either sides when there are trees, that is south, west, north and east, but not surrounding. When it is surrounding, we use paritaha. Surrounding is everywhere. Like for example, if you imagine an island, then it is surrounded by water everywhere. There we use paritaha. Abhitaha is exactly in these four directions. The picture will make it clear to you. Paritaha, surrounding. Samaya, nikasha, both mean near. So, Gramam Samaya Nadi Pravahati. Near the village, the river flows. Gramam Nikasha or Nagaram Nikasha Nadi Pravahati. Near the city, there is a river or the river flows. Pravahati. Samaya Nikasha both mean near. Ha means exclamation of sorrow. Ha Kashtam. So their kashtam, ha, trouble. So their kashtam is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. The reason for sorrow is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Ubhayataha, both sides. Prati, towards. This we already saw the example. Sarvataha, everywhere. Then let us see some examples. Chandram paritaha, nakshatrani santi. Around the moon, there are stars. So, Chandram Paritaha, surrounding the moon, there are stars, which means on everywhere around the moon, there are stars. Brindavanam Samaya Yamuna Pravahati. Near Brindavan, Yamuna flows. Margam Ubhayataha Vrikshaha Santi. On both sides of the path, there are trees. Sita vanam pratigacchati. Sita goes towards the forest. Atra chandram brindavanam margam vanam iti sarvani padani Dvitīyā vibhaktau santi. All these words highlighted in blue are in Dvitīyā. Now you all are familiar why they are in Dvitīyā. Because of using which particular avyayam. Here if I highlight here paritaha, samaya, Ubhayataha, Vanam, Prati. Because of these avyayas, we have the corresponding nouns in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Okay, next one. So this is to give you an example or a difference between Paritaha and Abhitaha. So I told you Abhitaha means in all four directions. So here if you see, Vidyalayam Abhitaha Vrikshaha Santi. So in all four directions, front, back, and on either sides, right and left, exactly in these four directions, if something is there, you say Abhitaha. Had the trees been surrounding the school everywhere, you don't see trees here in between, right? Had there been trees everywhere around the school, you would use Vidyalayam Paritaha Vrikshaha Santi. However, in this picture, we have trees only exactly in four directions. Therefore, Vidyalayam Abhitaha Vrikshaha Santi. We should be very careful while using Abhitaha Paritaha and note the difference. Prithak, Vina, Nana, without. All mean without. For example, Jalam Vina Jivanam Nasti. Without water, there is no life. Jalam Vina. Jalam iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. Dayam Vina Dharmaha Nasti. Without compassion, there is no dharma. Dayam Vina. Kam Vina, Dayam Vina. Daya iti padam Dvitīyā Vibhaktau asti. This next one is not there in your Pravesha, but because we are learning each Vibhakti, we endeavor to make you thorough in the basics of each Vibhakti. So here, Antara means in between, Antarena means without. So even when we use these two, the corresponding nouns are in Dvitīyā. So I'll just give you some examples. Antara, Anganam, Anganam, Antara, Madhavo. All of you will, Madhavaha. You will know this beautiful verse. It describes the Rasa Krida Varnanam, or the divine dance of Krishna and the gopis. So Krishna multiplied himself into so many forms. There were as many Krishnas as there are gopis. And in the Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful description of this divine dance. So here, between each Gopika, there was a Krishna. And between two Gopikas, there was a Krishna. Between two Krishnas, there was a Gopika. So you can visualize that, right? So there were as many Gopis and as many Krishnas, and it was a mandala, a rasa mandala. So here, to describe that, this is a line from a shloka actually. I've just taken the first line. Anganam, Anganam, Antara, Madhavaha. Anganam, Anganam, Antara. In between Gopi and Gopi, there is Madhava. There is Krishna. So here Anganam, Anganam. Angana is a lady, here referring to Gopikas. So Anganam, Anganam, Antara, Madhava. So Anganam, Anganam, they are in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Then Madhavam Antarena na Sukham Asti. Without Madhava, there is no happiness. Madhavam Antarena. So I hope this is clear to you. Those who are familiar with this verse will now understand why Anganam, Anganam, which Vibhakti it is in. Okay. Now a very famous shloka, I will just read it out. You all please identify the words in Dvitīyā Vibhakti yourself. Vasudeva sutam devam kamsa chanuramardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum. So many shlokas wherever you see vande being used or I prostrate. Whom do I prostrate? Kam vande. Atra jagadgurum vande. Krishnam vande. Devaki Paramanandam Vande, Kamsachanuramardanam Vande, Vasudeva Sutam Vande, Devam Vande. Now it will be clear to you which are the words in Dvitīyā Vibhakti here. In many shlokas, wherever you see Vande, you can find, now you will be able to identify which words are in Dvitīyā. Now let us see Dvitīyā Vibhakti, some examples. Rama Shabdaha, Ramam, Ramau, Raman. Hari Shabdaha, Harim, Hari, Hareen. Pati Shabdaha, Patim, Pati, Pateen. Guru Shabdaha, Gurum, Guru, Gurun. Pitr, Pitaram, Pitarau, Pitrun. Please see here, it is Pitr, R. We have, right? You remember in your swaras, we have R, R. So Pitrun. So you should put two of these see like symbols below, not one. If you put one, it will become Pitrin. So you should put two, Pitrin. Okay. And Rama, Ramam, Rame, Ramaha. Mati, Matim, Mati, Matihi. All are in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Nadi, Nadim, Nadyau, Nadihi. Then Shri, Shriyam, Shriyau, Shriyaha, Dhenu, Dhenum, Dhenu, Dhenuhu, Matr, Mataram, Matarau, Matruh. Again it is Ruh, Dirgha, not Matruh, Matruh. While chanting itself, reciting, clearly differentiate Hrasva Dirgha. So that while learning and while writing, you will be clear. Phala, phalam, phale, phalani. Vari, vari, varini, varini. Dadhi, dadhi, dadhini, dadhini. Madhu, madhu, madhuni, madhuni. Next, tad, we have learnt this. Tam, tau, tan, tad strilinga. Tam, te, taha, tad napumsakalinga. Tat, te, tani, etad pullinga, etam, enam, etau, enau, etan, enan. So here we have two forms. We should learn both the forms. Etad strilinga, etam, enam, ete, ene, etaha, enaha. Then etad napumsakalinga, etat, enat, ete, ene, etani, enani. Then idam pullinga, imam, imau, iman. Idam strilinga, imam, ime, imaha. Idam napumsakalinga, idam, ime, imani. Adas pullinga, amum, amu, amun. Adas strilinga, amum, amu, amuhu. Adas napumsakalinga, adaha, amu, amuni. Sarva pullinga, sarvam, sarvau, sarvan. Sarva strilinga, sarvam, sarve, sarvaha. Sarva napumsakalinga, sarvam, sarve, sarvani. Yad pullinga, yam, yau, yan. Yad strilinga, yam, ye, yah. Yad napumsakalinga, yat, ye, yani. Kim pullinga, kam, kau, kan. Kim strilinga, kam, ke, kah. Kim napumsakalinga, kim, ke, kani. Yushmad, tvam, tva, yuvam, vam. Yushman, vaha. Yushmad, it is in the sense of you. Tvam, tvam vande. Tvam vande there. It is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. Here, asmad, yushmad, every alternate Vibhakti has two forms. So, second, fourth, like that, you will have two forms. Both in asmad, that is I, and yushmad, you. You have to learn both the forms. They're very commonly used in shlokas. The second form is used. So we should not say we'll only learn one form for now. We should know both the forms because both forms are very commonly used. Tvam, tva, yuvam, vam, yushman, vaha, asmad, mam, ma, avam, nau, asman, naha. Okay, so these are the forms of Dvitīyā Vibhakti. I also, like I said, I want to teach you two more shabdas, like revise Rama and do two more. So after I teach you, if there is time, we will come back and maybe some of you can read this. So now we have learned okay. We've learned this shabda in the previous class. I think I will request one of you to read it out. This is akarantaha pullingaha Rama Shabdaha. So we have learnt till Dvitīyā, Ramam, Rama, Raman. Till there we have learnt the peculiar usages and the common rules for each Vibhakti. From Tritiya we will cover all in Pravesha, but in subsequent lessons. But Shabdas from now on, we should learn each Shabd. Whatever is taught, we should learn by the next class. Okay, so now let me see who can. Lakshmi ji, Lakshmi Ramasubramanian ji, please all of you, when I call out your name, unmute and please read the heading. Akarantaha pullingaha Rama Shabdaha. And then only you must start, because only then you will know the Anta Linga and the Pratipadikam. Rama is the Pratipadikam or the root. Very important. Yes, Lakshmi Bhagini. Please read it aloud. Rama Shabda, Lakshmi ji. Lakshmi ji. Lakshmi Bhagini. Okay, unable to hear her. Shri Lata ji. Shri Lata Bhagini, please read Rama Shabda aloud.
Namaskara.
Namaste.
Akarantaha pullingaha Rama Shabdaha. Ramaha Ramau Ramaha. He Rama He Ramau He Ramaha. Ramam Ramau Raman. Ramena Ramabhyam Ramaihi. Ramaya Ramabhyam Ramebhyaha. Ramat Ramabhyam Ramebhyaha. Ramasya Ramayoh Ramanam. Rame Ramayoh Rameshu.
Uttamam. Dhanyavadaha Bhagini. So all of you, you must first learn reading fluently, then memorize, go on reading it correctly. And when you read, ensure that you are reading out correctly and not making any mistakes. Okay, now we will learn the new Shabda. And for today's class, based on whether we have time later, we can revise it. I'll give you opportunity to read. So I will read it out once. Please, all of you go through as I read. Akarantaha strilingaha Rama Shabdaha. Akarantaha strilingaha Rama Shabdaha. Rama Rame Ramaha. He Rame He Rame He Ramaha. Ramam Rame Ramaha. Ramaya Ramabhyam Ramabhihi. Ramayai Ramabhyam Ramabhyaha. Ramayaha Ramabhyam Ramabhyaha. Ramayaha, Ramayoho, Ramanam, Ramayam, Ramayoho, Ramasu. Okay, now I will call out the names. If you want me to teach you, please tell, I will teach and then you can repeat. If you are comfortable reading on your own, you can read on your own. Priyadarshini Bhagini, Kripaya Pathatu.
Namaste Bhagini.
Namaste. Huh.
Akarantaka Strilingaka Rama Shabdaka Rama Rame Ramaka He Rame He Rame He Ramaka Ramam Rame Ramaka Ramaya Ramabhyam Ramabhihi Ramayai Ramabhyam Ramabhyaka Ramayaka Ramabhyam Ramabhyaka Ramayaga Ramayoho Ramanam Ramayam Ramayoho Ramasu.
Uttamam Bhagini. Very well read. Dhanyavadaha. Now we will learn the next Shabda. I will read it out once and then you all can read it. So here also this is Akaranta Napumsakalinga Vana Shabda. Please be very, very careful, all of you. I heard that even in the exercise class, there were some doubts about the Pratipadikam. So here, if you see, the Pratipadikam is Vana. It is not Vanam. Vana is the root. When certain prayogas are added or sup pratyayas are added, when you add a sup pratyaya, it becomes Vanam, Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachanam. So it is not Vanam Shabda, it is Vana Shabda. However, it is Akaranta Napumsakalinga. Rama is Akaranta Pullinga Rama Shabda. Vanam is Akaranta Napumsakalinga Vana Shabda. You should know which linga it is, because Akaranta Pullinga Shabdas will be declined like Rama, whereas Akaranta Napumsakalinga Shabdas will be declined like Vanam. So Phalam, Vanam, Jnanam, all these are similar. And once you learn Rama Shabda, you will see that from Tritiya or Dvitīyā Vibhakti, you see similarity between Pullinga and Sakalinga. Whereas in the Prathama Vibhakti form, it is Vanam, Vane, Vanani. So let us read it. Akarantaha, Napumsakalingaha, Vana Shabdaha, Vanam, Vane, Vanani, He Vana, He Vane, He Vanani, Vanam, Vane, Vanani, Vanena, Vanabhyam, Vanaihi, Vanaya, Vanabhyam, Vanebhyaha, Vanat, Vanabhyam, Vanebhyaha, Vanasya, Vanayoho, Vananam, Vane, Vanayoho, Vaneshu. Okay, so this is Vana Shabda. One of you, Geeta ji, please read it aloud.
Astu Bhagini. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Akarantaha Napumsakalingaha Vana Shabdaha Vanam Vane Vanani He Vana He Vane He Vanani Vanam Vane Vanani Vanena Vanabhyam Vanaihi Vanaya Vanabhyam Vanebhyaha Vanat Vanabhyam Vanebhyaha Vanasya Vanayoho Vananam Vane Vanayoho Vaneshu.
Uttamam Bhagini. Dhanyavadaha. Very well read. So all of you, whatever age you have joined, whether school students or senior citizens or, octogenarians above 80, whoever, everyone will be able to learn. So please don't think it is difficult for me to memorize at this age. Age is no bar. In Sanskritam, we say, Nahi vayaha tejaso hetuhu. So whether young, old, everyone will be able to do it. Just that we need to condition ourselves, mentally tell ourselves we'll be able to do it. And abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. With abhyasa, anything you can achieve. You will see that we don't realize the power of our brain and the power of our mind. So once you start initially, I mean, if you have lost the touch of learning or something, it might be a bit slow initially, but don't give up. And once you start memorizing, you will pick up pace. You will see that change within yourself. And please note this, once you memorize the basic shabdas, you will see that slowly as you get familiar with the language, you will be able to see the similarities and patterns in each shabda, and any word you will be able to decline it comfortably. It just needs some patience and spending some time with the language. So everything we can't just get it as it is, right? So you see how, always think of how a child picks up the mother tongue just by listening, by talking, and without having any hesitation, they talk, whether right or wrong, etc. So we should also inculcate that and start listening to Sanskrit, start attending spoken Sanskrit classes, and also the shabdas, try to listen to them. You recite it to each other. If you're at home, if you're learning, many of you are learning, you can do it, or in these study groups, and you will definitely be able to learn these shabdas. What is important is consistency and practice. So we should be consistent in learning. Before exam, one day before, 1 week before, shabdas will not be possible, like any other language and any other discipline for that matter. Okay, so we will all be able to do it. I'm doing few shabdas every class so that it is spaced out and you will be able to learn them. Now, Rama, right? So let us, one of you can help me do Bala Shabda. Ram Mahodaya. Please unmute. So Akarantaha. Please unmute Ram Mahodaya. Okay, unable to unmute. Okay. Srinivasan Mahodaya. Please unmute.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. You can do any Akaranta Pullinga Shabda Mahodaya. You can do Balaka, Bala, or Krishna, Bhima. I leave the choice to you. Similar to Rama.
Okay. Akaranta hai, Pullinga hai, Bala Shabda hai. Bala hai, Balau, Bala. He Bala, he Balau. He Bala. He Balam.
He Balam itina. Only Balam. No he there.
Oh, Balam. Balau, Balan. Balena.
Atra Srinivasan Mahodaya, Balena iti bhavati. It is not Balena. It is Balena.
Balena. Balabhyam.
Balabhyam.
Balabhyam. Balau.
Balaihi.
Balaihi. Balaya. Balabhyam. Baleshya.
Balebhyaha.
Balebhyah. Balat. Balabhyam. Baleshyah.
Balebhyaha.
Balebhyah. Balasya. Balayo. Balanam.
Tatrapi Balanam iti bhavati. So it will be this na, not na. It will be this na. Balanam.
Balanam. Bale. Balayoho. Baleshu.
Uttamam Mahodaya. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you.
So like this, please try for other words also. And just before we conclude, there are questions also regarding that. Why in some places you have na and some places it is na. So Ramena, if you see here, but in Bala Shabda, it would be Balena. Similarly, Balanam, not Balanam, but here you have na. This is because of the Natvam rule. So we all have learned the Natvam rule in our introductory classes. Please go back to the, we have done in detail the rule regarding Natvam. Natvam rule is where na becomes na. So when there are certain letters like in the word, like for example, ra is one, sha is one, like shanmukha, sha. that sh is another one. When we have such letters, then na changes to na. So here in Ramena, because we have the letter ra, na is changing to na. Similarly, Ramanam. But why is it remaining na here? Why is it Raman, not Raman? Because there are certain exceptions to the Natvam rule. One of the exceptions is whenever na is at the end of a word, it doesn't become na, it remains as na itself. Okay, so that is the exception where there is nakara is at the end of a word. So it doesn't become Raman. But here it is Ramena, Ramanam. Whereas in other shabdas it will be Balakena or Balena and Balana. So this Natvam rule is very handy while doing declensions in shabdas. You will know how in some shabdas na becomes na because of the Natvam. And there are certain exceptions to the Natvam which also we should be aware of. We have done this in the introductory classes. Please go back to the videos and to the PDF where we have dealt with Natvam rule in detail. Which is why, you know, we need to be, it's an entire whole, like all these lessons, we need to know the basics, what we have learned before also. To follow. Okay, so that question is answered. Some of you had a question regarding that. Tejas ji, Dvitīyā Vibhaktau is in Vibhakti Shabda, Vibhaktau is in Saptami Vibhakti. So Vibhakti is also, Vibhaktihi is a Ikaranta Strilinga Shabda. Vibhaktau is in Saptami Vibhakti. Therefore, when it is locative case, we have to say Vibhaktau. Namamaha, Devam Namamaha. That is, we prostrate to God. Ponnu Subramanianji, in response to your question, Namaha is salutations. That is different from Namamaha. Namaha is salutations. It is an abhyayam. There it is Devaya Namaha. Namamaha is Uttama Purusha Bahuvachanam form of Namati. So Namati, Namataha, Namanti, Namasi, Namatha, Namatha, Namami, Namavaha, Namamaha. It is a verb. So there we use Devam Namamaha Dvitīyā. Abhitaha, we already learnt the meaning along with the picture, so that should be clear. Vasudevanji, na and na, the Natvam rule I explained. Jyotsnaji, Dvitīyā Vibhakti, Krishnam Vande. So there Krishnam is in Dvitīyā Vibhakti. All the words in that particular shloka are in Dvitīyā. Okay, Krishnaveni ji, whoever wants to get added to the WhatsApp group, please send us an email, both to Sudha Bhagini and to us. We will forward it and you can get added. Santana Gopala Krishnanji, Karanakarakam is Tritiya Vibhaktihi. We will come to it. Namaha would be Chaturthi, Ramaya Namaha, Krishnaya Namaha. Whereas Namamaha would be Devam Namamaha, Krishnam Namamaha. There is a difference. Okay, Natvam rule, we will not be able to repeat the entire rule now. Please go back to our previous videos where you have the Natvam rule and you will be able to see. But I will also request Sudha Bhagini to cover this in the Abhyasa class once again, because Natvam itself will take one entire class. But while doing the examples, I will ask her to cover it. Let us conclude with Shanti Mantraha. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvebhyah dhanyavadaha. Agami Bhanuvasare Purarvilamaha. We will meet next Sunday and you will have the Abhyasa class on Saturday. Dhanyavadaha.